In 2010, an American programmer named Laszlo Hanyecz made history and possibly the worst financial decision of all time. He ordered 2 large pizzas from Papa John's. Nothing crazy, right? Except he paid 10,000 bitcoins for them, which at the time was about $40, but today is worth around $1 billion. The most expensive meal in human history wasn't served in a fancy restaurant. It was delivered in a cardboard box, and the internet never forgot because every year, on May 22nd, people celebrate Bitcoin Pizza Day, a tribute to the first real-world Bitcoin purchase ever made, and a shout-out to Laszlo, whose lunch is now worth a fortune and a lifetime of regret. But that ridiculous pizza order marked something incredible, the moment when digital money became real. To understand how we got here and what Bitcoin actually is, we need to go back to the very beginning. Because this story doesn't start with a pizza, but a mysterious idea that changed money forever. Let's zoom out and see the full story of Bitcoin. I've broken it into 6 chapters so simple that even a 5-year-old could follow. So stick with me until the end, and I promise you'll walk away with answers to all the questions that keep you up at night. Like, who came up with the idea of digital money? Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? How did people discover Bitcoin? How much was it worth? Why did Bitcoin get a bad reputation? Who got rich and who got burned? Where is Bitcoin today? Is it still relevant? Can I still get rich if I buy Bitcoin? It's only one way to find out. So let's dive into the first chapter. Before Bitcoin, lots of people tried to make digital money and all of them failed. In the 1990s, there was DigiCash, a cool system that let people pay online anonymously. The problem? It needed a company to manage it, and when the company went bankrupt, the money disappeared too. Then came BitGold and B-Money, clever ideas for digital cash that didn't rely on a bank, but they ran into the same big problem. How do you stop people from copying digital money like a file on their computer? All the old systems depended on someone in the middle that you had to trust. A bank, a company, or a person. But Bitcoin wanted to do something different. Create money that didn't need a middleman at all. And then came the mysterious figure who tried to solve it once and for all, Satoshi Nakamoto. Here's where the real story begins. It all started on Halloween, October 31st, 2008. While most people were worrying about candy and costumes, the world was getting a much scarier threat. A full-blown financial crisis. Banks were failing, governments were panicking, and the idea of digital money was about to appear out of nowhere, and then an email appeared on a cryptography mailing list. I've been working on a new electronic cash system that's fully peer-to-peer, with no trusted third party. Signed, Satoshi Nakamoto. And that was the legendary moment when Bitcoin was born. Later in January 2009, the first ever block was mined. No, not that kind of block, but the first Bitcoin block called the Genesis. Hidden inside the Genesis block was a newspaper headline. This wasn't random. It was Satoshi's way of saying, Bitcoin is here because the banks are failing and the system is broken. A little digital protest baked right into the code. Satoshi mined around 1 million Bitcoins, which would be worth roughly $105 billion today. And then, in 2011, vanished completely. No one knows who he was or where he went. He created the world's first unstoppable currency, and then pulled a total Batman move. Now let's take a look at how much Bitcoin was worth in the early days. At first, Bitcoin was basically worthless. You could mine hundreds of coins on a regular laptop and nobody really cared. Forums were filled with people trading thousands of Bitcoins for a few dollars. As you saw at the beginning of the video, Laszlo Hanyecz made the famous first real-world Bitcoin purchase, 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins. Meanwhile, some losses were, well, let's just say sad. Take James Howells, for example. He was mining Bitcoin on his laptop, but it made so much noise that his girlfriend got fed up, and one day, she made him dump the entire hard drive in the trash, along with 7,500 Bitcoins. Today, those coins would be worth around $800 million, still buried somewhere in a landfill in Wales. I'm wondering if poor James is still with his girlfriend. Around the same time, the first grand Bitcoin exchange, Mt. Gox, was created. Fun fact, it originally started as a website for trading magic, but in 2014, it got hacked, and hundreds of thousands of Bitcoins were stolen. Bitcoin was growing fast, but so were the stories of unbelievable losses and legendary wins. As Bitcoin started gaining value, it also started getting a reputation, and not a good one. It became the main currency on the Silk Road, an online black market where you could buy almost anything, legal or illegal. Suddenly, Bitcoin was known as money for criminals. Governments panicked, banks scoffed, and the media called it a scam. Basically, Bitcoin was the rebellious teenager of money. Then came the first big Bitcoin boom. Prices shot past $1,000 in 2013 and then crashed almost 80%. People said it was dead. Each time it crashed, it came back stronger. Early believers like the Winklevoss twins, yes, the Facebook guys, poured millions into it. Surviving the dark side was just the beginning. Soon, Bitcoin would explode into the mainstream, and that's where our next chapter begins. By 2017, Bitcoin had finally stepped into the spotlight. Everyone wanted in. Prices exploded to $20,000, and suddenly, Bitcoin was everywhere. On the news, on social media, even in casual dinner conversations. Then came the crashes. Then came the rises. And then Elon Musk tweeted, prices shot up. Then he tweeted again. Prices dropped. The crypto roller coaster was officially global. By 2021, Bitcoin hit an all-time high of $69,000. Companies like Tesla and MicroStrategy bought billions worth. Even countries joined the party. El Salvador made Bitcoin an official currency. Some people got rich overnight. Some lost everything. Some just shook their heads and said, why didn't I buy earlier? Bitcoin wasn't just an internet experiment anymore. It had transformed into a global phenomenon, and just when you think it might calm down, the story keeps evolving. So, where is Bitcoin today? Is it still relevant? And the big one, can you still get rich from it? Well, first off, yes, Bitcoin is very much alive. It's no longer just internet money for geeks. Big companies hold it. Governments regulate it. Entire economies are starting to take it seriously. And as I'm making this video, one Bitcoin is worth $104.822.80. Yeah, one single coin. From the same magic internet money that used to buy 2 pizzas. But here's the thing. Bitcoin today isn't just about getting rich. It's about what it represents. Freedom from banks. Freedom from governments. Freedom from the old system that Satoshi was protesting in that hidden Genesis block message. Sure, people still gamble on it. And yes, some still lose everything. But the ones who truly get it, they see Bitcoin as more than an investment. It's a movement, a digital rebellion. Whether it's used by billionaires or kids mining on laptops, Bitcoin keeps proving one thing. It refuses to die. But what happens when Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high? Or when all the blocks are finally mined? Will it just vanish? In reality, Bitcoin isn't endless like regular money. Governments and central banks can print more paper money whenever they need to, which often leads to inflation and lowers the value of each bill. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is fixed. There will only ever be 21 million coins, and once the last one is mined, no new Bitcoin will ever be created. After that, miners will earn money only through transaction fees, not new coins. Some experts think this scarcity will make Bitcoin even more valuable. Others believe it could cause problems for the network in the long run. Still, its future remains one of the most debated topics in finance and tech. And if there's one thing history has taught us about Bitcoin, every time people say, it's over, that's usually where the next boom begins.